I'd like to relate to you the story of Dave, a kind of a weekend bayman, who used to be brave. He'd tackle a bouncer, he'd wrestle a bear, he'd sail a punt through a storm with a latte held near. He climbed Everest a few times by various routes, without any oxygen, and once without boots. But then came the card game in Blasty Cove West, and now Dave ain't so brave. Dave is not at his best. 'Twas a few years ago on a fine fallish day, David bought an old house out around the bay. He was looking for escape from the office and mall, a place to slow down and get away from it all. He dropped in for groceries at Otto's Convenience, and after learning that Otto did not sell incense, Dave spied a notice stuck onto the wall. Card game on Saturday at the R.C. Church Hall. Well, that sounds like fun, Dave said to Otto, but Otto was busy with a ticket for the lotto. And so the fates were decided on the future ensuing events that would lead to Dave's final undoing. Now, in an effort to be neighbourly and meet the locals and all, Dave took Carl's taxi that night to the hall. Carl himself was the driver, and he had 3 other guests, and they were all wearing coveralls and blaze orange vests. Carl said, "Hope you don't mind a fairly slow run," and he gave Dave some bullets, a vest, and a gun. "Now keep your eyes peeled," said a lady named Seuss. "It's the last day for hunting, and Carl got nar moose." As they crept along the highway, all eyes were skinned. "Now I'm a hunter," thought Dave, and he grinned. "There's one," he said, and he felt his blood pump. "Go on, boy," said Seuss. "Sure, that's only a stump." Arriving at the hall, Dave's nickname was Stump, though it could have been Woodhorse or Pony or Lump. He swaggered from the van for all hands to see, reluctantly handing back Carl's .303. Now, it was a nice friendly group that sat round Dave's table, to which he was assigned by a woman named Mabel, 2 sisters named Nee, Madonna, and Blanche, and a man named Cy Cox, originally from Branch. Cy had one eye with a patch on the other, and he joked that he'd lost one playing cards with his mother. Dave laughed at the joke and told a joke of his own. He felt like one of the crowd, just like he was home. "Start the game," Mabel ordered, in a tone quite severe. "Brr," said Dave. "Is it getting colder in here?" Then he noticed the other 3 staring at him, like wolves at a lamb, all hungry and grim. "Oh my," thought Dave, as the cards were dealt out. "This crowd is serious about cards, yes, no doubt." He drew Blanche as a partner, and her frown said it all. "Don't fool up, you Stundars townie, that's all." Blanche dealt the cards first and put 3 in the kit. "It's supposed to be 4, said Dave, "isn't it?" "Huh," said Madonna with a bone-chilling frown. "I suppose that's the way that you plays it in town." Well, Dave laughed weakly, and he squirmed in his seat. He had sweat on his brow and was red as a beet. He played his cards badly as Blanche's eyes drilled. "Nowden," she said, "you got the hearse and cart killed." As the next hand was dealt, Dave's cards were not bad. Ace of hearts, jack, and 2 of spades is what he had. Trusting to his partner and trying not to get freaked, Dave made up his mind. "I'll go 20, he squeaked. "Think I'll pass," said Cy with a hint of a smile. "Pass," said Blanche. She was way more hostile. Madonna then took what seemed like a fit. 30 for 60, she screeched. "On the kit." Well, just at that moment, Dave felt his nerve crack. He put out his ace when he should have played his jack. Blanche glared across the table with death in her eyes, and then they were down 60, and Cy said, "Now, boys." Well, Dave's head was spinning, and he let out a groan as he felt himself enter his own twilight zone, for he'd seen something else that seemed a bit strange. The other 3 players were starting to change. They were all getting bigger as he looked on in dread, and saw his eye had moved to the middle of his head. Blanche was a cackling old witch, for gosh sakes. Madonna's hairdo wasn't nutting only snakes. "Your deal, townie," Cy roared across the table. Well, Dave tried his best, but he just wasn't able. Blanche smiled wickedly, with half her teeth missing. Madonna just stared, her hair slithering and hissing. Well, that's when Dave lost it, and ran screaming from the hall. "Goodness," said Blanche, "what's with Townie at all?" "Clappy bag," said Madonna. "He's not right in the head." "Gone for a Starbucks, I dare say," Cy said. Well, it was just getting duckish and not long till night. Carl's taxi was crawling along the road round the bight. All eyes were scanning for a late-season moose. "I think I hear screaming," said the lady named Seuss. With that they beheld a most curious sight, a man passing on the left and screaming in fright. "Save me," he wailed, "from that unholy 3, Medusa, the Cyclops, and the screaming Banshee." Well, you might think things couldn't get stranger than that, but you'll change your mind shortly, or I'll eat my hat. Just as Carl said, he got a screw loose. Dave ran smack into a great big bull moose. The moose got a fright and dropped dead in its tracks, with our unconscious hero draped across its racks. Carl said he might be a townie, but no more will I rag him, 'cause I got me moose, boys, so come on now, let's tag him. Not long after that, Dave gave up his spot for a spot back in town on a tiny town lot. He feels much safer, but he still has his fears, and he goes to the overpass and stands there and stares. So come all you townies, so urbane and grand, there's things round the bay that you don't understand, like how to dig taties and chop firewood. If you don't know a prong from an axe, it's not good. But if you like at the cards and want to listen to reason, well, Sue's got an either-sex license this season. So head for the cove and sit down with Dave's crew, and perhaps you might save Seuss a bullet or two.